Okay, welcome back to the channel, everybody. My name is Mandy, and this here is my assistant, Doug. The new Little Red. The original Little Red is now behind the camera, or at least for the moment, at least for this video. So Doug is going to come in and take her place and be my helper. Today we're making rice Roni, and I don't know if people have heard of rice Roni before, but it's really old. I remember it from my childhood. They used to have the slogan, rice Roni, the San Francisco treat. I will spare you the singing of the jingle, but that's what we're going to make. So if you're new to the homesteading and this homesteading channel, hit a like and subscribe so you can get all our good updates and our good suggestions on how to homestead. And this here recipe that we're doing today is you have to do everything I do. Rice Roni. Right. So this here recipe that we're doing today is a really easy one. So you could do this in an apartment, right? So you live in an apartment or a townhouse, or you don't have a lot at your disposal. You can make this and put this in your cupboard to save your money, bring down the cost of your food, and cut out the middleman. A lot of times with the homesteading stuff, you don't actually have to live on a homestead. You could live in a nice subdivision, a townhouse, a row house, or whatever, and you could build your pantry from there, because you can do it very cost efficiently if you cut out the middleman. So today we're making this rice Roni. On Friday, you saw that we went shopping and we bought this vermicelli, and I bought it specifically because I knew I was going to do this to put on our pantry shelf. Rice Roni is a mixture of noodles and rice, and it's not something that I ever bought before because I don't buy a lot of prepackaged food. If I wanted rice, I would just make rice, and I would add to it the stuff to make it zippy and snappy. If I wanted noodles, I would just make noodles. I actually don't remember ever having actual rice Roni. So this is actually kind of new to me. Have you ever had a rice Roni in your house, Doug? Do you know of it? Do you think of it? Okay. Well, anyway, so for starters, we got to take our rice, we got to take our vermicelli here, and we're going to have Doug, maybe you can help Grandma do this. We're going to bust it up. We have to bust it up. So I'm going to take one bag in here. Do you want to take that? You take that. And I'll take, and we're going to bust it up just here. We're going to bust up this whole bag. I don't know how much we're going to get. Little pieces like this. Whoa, there we go, rice Roni. So little pieces, bust it up, little pieces. Okay, so we're going to take this. Doug's pieces are a little big, so I might have to come in here and bust it again. So there we are, busting up the rice Roni. Now remember, guys, this bag of vermicelli cost me $1.33 because I bought it on sale. And I bought a lot of it, so we can make a lot of rice Roni, or we can, use it for other things. Let me see, what is a spaghetti? Well, it's very thin. It almost looks like a spaghettini noodle. I think you could probably use a spaghettini noodle if you wanted to. Okay, there we go.
Stop swinging it at me.
So, there we are. Complaints from the helpers. Grandma's helpers. Always a great thing. Do it nicely.
I can cut that out.
Come on, you gotta be nice helper. There we go. Okay.
How much do we need to break?
Well, we need to break a lot of it.
Can't we just get a hammer?
Nope, no hammer. We're just doing it with our hands. So maybe we can speed this up. Okay, so we're back now. We had to shut the camera off because this was probably, I'm gonna guess, the worst job of this whole rice Roni thing was crushing this noodles. I think there was probably a better way to do this. I ended up giving Doug a bigger bowl because we were ending up with noodles everywhere. So anyway, and where's your masher? and I gave him a masher. But what I think, if I'm going to do this again, I think what I would do is I would leave it in the package, and maybe I would take that masher or a hammer to the package and bust it up in the package. If you guys have a better idea how to do this, because this was kind of tedious and painful, getting these noodles down to a small little noodle. But once we have it like this, we're going to make our rice-a-roni, but then anything left over I'm going to put on the shelf. And this is a nice noodle for like, you know, you've had Lipton cup of soups or Lipton chicken soups. And well, anyway, if you're making a nice soup, you can put that type of noodle in your soup. But this is this type of noodle. So there we go. So we can save that for other things, okay? So let's get on to this recipe now that we've smashed noodle and noodle is everywhere. We're going to we're going to start and follow along. Get a pen and paper so you can write it down. Super, super easy. Really simple, and you can do this at home. So we're going to start with 1 cup of rice. Now, as you see, I buy my stuff in bulk. So here we are. We have 1 cup of rice. Here, let's get in that. So, okay, Doug, you want to pour that in there?
And where?
In here, in here. 1 cup of rice and half a cup of this. Just like that. There you go. Okay. Now I'm using these mason jars, these wide mouth mason jars. I have a thing about what kind of jars I like to put things in, and I felt like my rice-a-roni would look nice in this jar, so this is where we're going. So we're going to do 12 of these. We're going to do a chicken rice-a-roni and a beef rice-a-roni. So all 12 of them need 1 cup of rice and half a cup of this. Doug, you want to do that part? Grandma will do the rice. I lost my measuring cup. So we finally got this noodle into our cup. And surprise, surprise, I actually had to open another bag. 1 bag was not enough to do 12 jars at half a cup. I thought it was going to be tons, but and it all depends how small the noodles are too, right? Like some of it sinks because there's air in there. But anyway, what we're going to do is we're just going to take the rest of this chopped noodle, and we're just going to put a lid on that. We'll put it on the shelf, and we'll use it in dishes and casseroles and stuff like that. Okay, so now we have our rice and we have our roni. We have to put our seasoning in, and our recipe calls for 2 tablespoons of parsley. So, this is a teaspoon. Okay, so we're gonna put in 1, 2, 3, 4 of these. Okay, Doug? Okay. You wanna do that? You wanna do that for Grandma? And look at, we got rice-a-roni and everything. It's in the pepper. Okay. I said 2 tablespoons, but I meant 1 tablespoon because I'm going off of a recipe here that's larger than the recipe that I made. I decided to make this recipe into single servings that we'll do for our family. So 1 of these will do our family for dinner. So I decided to shorten the recipe. It was double this. So it's only 1 tablespoon of parsley. It's 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. And I'm gonna put this in, Doug, because I'm not actually using 1/4 teaspoon. I'm just kind of guessing. Well, it's just that I, you know,
Don't have any more spoons.
I cook all the time from scratch, and I never use 1 of these. But for the sake of a recipe, like I just gauge everything by my eyeballs. This much pepper, this much salt, this much, and away we go, right? Okay, so we have 1 tablespoon of parsley, 1/4 teaspoon of pepper, and now we need chicken and beef bouillon. So let's separate these. We're gonna have 6 chicken and 6 beef. Now, this is not the most economical way to do this. But this is what I have, so this is what we're going to use up. But if you're going to do a lot of this stuff, you should not buy your bouillon in pre-packaged packages, right? Because it's too expensive. Somebody's done this work of separating it for you because I don't know how to get a measuring spoon and measure out a this is half a tablespoon. That's what one of these is, half a tablespoon. So we're going to put 1 tablespoon of bouillon in. And so that means 2 packages per
cup.
Per thing, right? Per cup, yeah. Here, do you want to do that, Doug, or? So, and this is also, it would be a lot easier if we just went to a jar and took out a half a tablespoon. Or in this case, a full tablespoon here. There we go. So we're gonna put our chicken in this side and our beef over here in that side. Okay, so we got our beef in here, we got our chicken in here. I put it here into, yeah, 6 over here and 6 over here so we can see what we're doing. Now we have to add, what is it? Glasses. Half a teaspoon of onion powder. This is our onion powder here. So Grandma's just gonna do that because, again, this is just an eyeball. We are personal fans of the onion flavor, right, Ava?
Oh yeah, totally.
Ava doesn't like onions, but she doesn't mind in an onion powder, do you?
No, I don't mind the onion powder.
So there we go.
I like onions in westerns.
In westerns? Yeah, they're good. Okay, so half a teaspoon of onion powder and half a teaspoon of garlic powder. Okay, half a teaspoon. The spices are kind of getting to me here. So, all right. Now, and there you have it, guys. It's done. It's done. That's all there is to it. Absolutely all there is to it. So if you don't have a homestead, you just live, in a subdivision or in a townhouse or apartment or wherever people live, you can do this. You have to start though investing in your kitchen. Like, I buy everything in bulk usually. In fact, these bouillons here, the best place to buy stuff like soup base and bouillon is to go to a bulk food store and buy it in big bulk. And just, mason jars are handy, but you don't even have to have mason jars. You could use Ziploc baggies. Like you could make this and put it in a Ziploc baggie, label it, and just put it on your shelf. This is good. It says for a year, but it's all just dried food. So it can go for however long, right? I'm sure if you're feeding even 3 people, you could go through 12 things of rice-a-roni in a year. Easy. As a side dish. I remember once, years ago, somebody said to me, they had quite a big family, and they said to me, they said, oh my gosh, food is so, and this is a long time ago too. This is not even now when food is really expensive. They said, you know how many bags of Sidekicks noodles it takes for us to feed our family? He said 5. He goes, and I was like, okay, you need to get rid of the Sidekicks and you need to make your own noodles and then make your own cream sauce. And throw in a little parsley, throw in a little spice. You need to get rid of the processed middleman food. First of all, when they do their rice-a-roni, there's other stuff in here. There's not just the basics like garlic and parsley and like we didn't put anything funny in here. We just put all normal stuff in here. So now, Doug, let's can this up, bottle it up. We're just bottling it, and then we're going to put it here. You help Grandma. And we're just going to put it on the shelf.
These aren't as hot as the mushrooms.
These aren't hot at all. I washed and cleaned the jars. Make sure your jars are dry too. Don't put wet stuff in or dry stuff into a wet jar. It has to be dry. So here we go. We're just gonna do this and we're just gonna put this on the shelf. And if you're a mom and you have a big family or whatever, this also takes a lot of thinking out of your day. You just know, okay, well, we'll just use this for our side and we'll grab it and put it on the shelf. Or put it in the pot, I mean. Okay, So now that we have these, I'll let Doug finish this job while I continue talking. What I'm going to do is I make little labels, right? Okay, so here's our my little label. You might notice that all my jars have little labels on it. That was tomato rice soup. Sometimes in washing, I try to take the label off, and sometimes I don't bother. I just, after I've washed, if the label doesn't come off, I just slap another label over top of it. Okay, so basically, when we go to cook this, we get a saucepan and we add 2 tablespoons of butter, 2 cups of broth or water. So my mushroom broth that we made the other day, we could use that and it'd be really tasty. We bring to a boil, cover and simmer for 15 minutes, or until all the liquid is gone and what you have left is just rice and noodle. And there you have it, guys. Easy peasy. Have we got it all in there, Doug? So don't be afraid to be a homesteader too, even if your situation isn't a big farm or anything. We can cut down our grocery cost by doing these simple things, cutting out the middleman. But you got to start investing in your kitchen. You got to start, start small. Like I said, maybe you don't have mason jars, but you can use a baggie. For this, you can just use a baggie. Put baggies on your shelf. And it's one step closer to bringing down that grocery bill. Yeah, put a lid on that. And I'm going to put that in the cupboard, and we'll use that when I'm making a soup or a stew or whatever I'm making and I want a little noodle. And away we go. So, okay guys, so there we have it. We've got our 12 cans of rice Roni. We're going to put it in the shelf, in the cupboard, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to follow along for more tips and more things on how you can be a homesteader too. And you can get your grocery bill down. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time on the Catholic Homestead.